The smell I smelled from Antwon's clothes was from Antwon crapping himself in his sleep. And then he stayed asleep.
His rancid feces is now rapidly converting to a thick paste. The diarrhea shoots out of cracks and into his underwear.
Hello, friends. Trace amounts of science. Promise swearsies. It's just a fact. Somebody asked me in the comments recently, have you read the Neckbeard Saga of Antwon? And I said, no, I don't think I have. It was posted only 4 months ago, and I don't recall it, but there's 7 parts, and I'd like to get into it, if you're game for that. I mean, I know probably the audience is. They clicked on it, but how about you, Gubbins? How you feeling about today?
Antwon, the diabetic warlock of diarrhea, cursed by low blood sugar and demonic mustache. He not man, he not toddler, he a sentient septic incident in cargo shorts.
Well, yeah, I guess all of us have those times sometimes. It sounds like it's going to be a gross one. Kind of sounds like Gubbins knows the tale. So let's jump into it and read it for ourselves. Also, hey, thanks so much for being here today. The Tale of Antwon, Part 1. Anyone can put this on YouTube or repost. You have permission. Dude, 2 thumbs up for that shit. Appreciate ya. It all started after my sister, 17, would be 18 in a few months, ran away and came back with a boyfriend who will be called Antwon, a skinny guy with rotting teeth, dirty blonde hair, a mustache, and a sorry excuse for a beard who was kicked out of his home. He has diabetes and supposedly can't see well. Well, he's an interesting individual. Where did she find this one? What the fuck? You gotta teach your sister some self-respect. How was your home life growing up? You know what? I'm not gonna get into it. It's fine. I'll tell you the tale of my suffering of having to live under the same roof with this man-toddler. I did not get much warning as to his arrival. My parents just told me that he was going to live with us starting that day. The reason is my dad is a Christian and felt bad for the boy having diabetes and no place to go for the winter. And my mother did not want my sister to leave with him if they turned him away. Yeah, go ahead. Have some real-world experiences out there so you can come running back to the safety of the nest. Yeah, it sucks out there, doesn't it? Much better to stay in here with the piss bottles. Wait, Antwon hasn't moved in yet. There's no piss bottles. But there will be. Oh, there will be.
What are you, a camel?
OP says, did I understand this situation? Yes, but I did not agree regardless. I mean, that's generally a good way to go. Look at this fucking freeloader. Mom and Dad are going to take some knocks right here, too. We're learning all our lessons the hardest way. I tried to give Antwon the benefit of the doubt. I wasn't going to befriend him, but I would simply try to be civil. That's all anyone can ask, right? The first night should have been a warning to what was to come. There were only 2 bathrooms in the house, one in my mom and dad's room, and the other in the hallway where my room and my sister's rooms were. I woke up to go to work and go to use the bathroom, and thank the good Lord up above, I turned on the light before stepping in there. Allow me to describe how it looked. Oh no. What's on the bathroom floor, OP? Oh no. It looked like someone just stopped at the bathroom door, opened it, turned around, dropped their drawers, and violently sharted into the bathroom. And there was shit everywhere. On the floor, the sink, the tub.
Oh my god! He shit everywhere! Look what he did! He shit all over the wall!
This had to come out at an upward velocity. He had to be doing a handstand at the time. He had to get on the mirror. If I took one step into that bathroom, it truly would have been a shitty morning. All right, laugh track, please. It can only be either my sister or Antwon, and not wanting to rock the boat or clean up poo when they're both well old enough to know better, I closed the door and decided to let my dad, the man of the house, deal with this problem. Yeah, you let him in here, you fucking take care of it. You feed him, that ain't my problem. But before I can send the text, my mother comes home, with my second oldest brother's kid, who she's babysitting, and she goes toward the bathroom, so I warned her not to go in there. She looked inside and turned to me, and I immediately think she's mad and about to wake whoever the culprit is to clean it up, only for her to yell at me about just leaving it. That's not my poop. I didn't eat corn this week.
I'm not cleaning that up.
Good old gross out humor. Never gets old. OP says, yeah, leaving it is gross, but I draw the line at cleaning up human feces. My mom ends up cleaning it up, to my shock. Oh no. And I had to leave work early to avoid the yelling. I'm sure there was a lot. Turns out that it was Antwon, and he tried to blame my elderly cat first. But my dad solved the problem by making him in charge of cleaning the bathroom. My dad shows him how, and with what products. Yeah, I guess that's good. If you're gonna live in this house, you gotta fucking put in some type of work. It's just so ludicrous to me. The cat, really? You sure?
The accusation. He blame the elder cat?
Yep.
Oh, bring me the blood moon. Gubbins shall not stand for slander upon innocent feline.
Feeling. Yes, everybody beware of the feeling. I've got a feeling. Mostly disgust. My dad also talked to me and my mom, and I will never be expected to clean up poo-poo again. But the story doesn't end there, and my break is over. To be continued. Oh my god. It gives me some of that good old ReddX cringe vibe, doesn't it? Just gross. Disgusting. Sharts all over the bathroom. You're a guest in somebody's home and you just... I don't even know how you accomplish something like that. It had to be very purposeful to spray diarrhea everywhere. It's ludicrous.
This man-toddler has diabetes and no home, yet somehow has the audacity to weaponize his colon at dawn. He live under another's roof and give them a war crime in return. This is not guest behavior. This is goblin siege tactics. Gubbins.
Goblin siege tactics, yeah. You can't let a goblin into your home, okay? They seem nice and then they start chewing shit. If you feed them, they'll never leave. Don't do this. I understand wanting to be a good Christian, but you can do it in other ways, you know? At an arm's length. I'll go buy you a meal that you eat outside of my house. I don't want you living here forever. And also fucking my daughter. Like, I'm not gonna put up with that a little bit, no. What if she ends up pregnant? You gotta deal with a grandchild from this meth muppet. I don't know. They were already watching second eldest brother's kid. I don't want to dunk on him too hard for that, but it's a bad sign. I guess the only thing left to do is to continue on into part 2 and see how much worse it gets. The Tale of Antwon, part 2, the first week. How long did this shit go on? The first week Antwon lived with us, I assumed that he had a very bad stomach flu. We all get him, and I heard that something was going around. Yeah, that must be it. Just the stomach flu. But if I get it, I'm gonna fight you. As soon as I feel well, I'm gonna punch you right in the nose. Opie says the problem with all that was that he just couldn't clean up after himself. And when he did, someone had to, check his work. Your sister's responsible, really. Your sister and your dad. Get them both in there to inspect the shit flecks that he left underneath the rim of the toilet bowl or whatever. He just doesn't have an eye for detail, you see. That's why his teeth are rotting out of his head. Anyway, my dad told me to tell him to clean up his crap whenever this happens. that Christian ethics kind of going out the window a little, huh? I woke him up one morning before I had to go to work to clean the toilet seat, only for him to start gaslighting me and tell me that there's nothing there. So we both go in the bathroom, and I turn on the light and show him, and he keeps saying, there's nothing there. And then he cleans it up complaining that there's nothing there. And I understand maybe he does have bad eyesight, okay, but trust me, there's something there. You think I'm dragging your ass in here for my own fucking benefit? You think this is how I want to start my morning?
There's nothing there, he says. Nothing there? Gubbins sees the brown sigils of betrayal. Gubbins could map his constellations with them.
Yes, the worst betrayal. And the worst betrayal is not being protected from this person. You know, home is supposed to be safe. Who's this fucking stranger and why doesn't he respect my space? Get him out. Ugh, so OP says I go in, and he somehow completely missed the side of the toilet seat that needed cleaning. So he's doing it on purpose now. I wake him up again, and just decided to stop at a gas station to relieve myself. You shouldn't have to live like this, OP. Somebody needs to give this guy a fucking reality check. Either ReddX brand lead pipe or ReddX brand Super 8s. As long as you're buying from ReddX brand, it don't make me no difference. Leave a super chat if you'd like to contribute. Thanks so much. We had the craziest live stream for we talked about Christian. My God. You should also join us for Sunday Fun Day. Okay, enough plugs for now. PM Eastern Time on Sunday. OP says another time, it somehow got on the wall. Yes, it.
You're messing with my schedule, so I'm giving you wall poo.
I tell him to clean it, and he tries to tell me it's not crap. But he did clean it up, though. I'm gonna do it with your toothbrush. Oh, wait, you clearly don't have one. The worst incident for me, at least, was when I was in a rush to use the bathroom after a long drive and forgot to check the seat. I immediately knew my grave mistake when I sat down and it was sticky. Oh, God. Oh, Jesus. Lord have mercy. I can't, what? Oh, that's a really rough one, OP. I see a lot of shit on the channel, but sitting in a neckbeard's poo it's a new one for me. Half a decade we've been doing this. Wow.
And what kind of cryptid sits in his own biological warfare and just shrugs it off like it's a Tuesday? You sit down and it's sticky? Sticky? That's not just disgusting, that's ritual desecration.
No, that's the worst thing I've ever heard. I'm pretty sure out of all the things I don't want to happen to me, that is chief among them. What the fuck? OP says it was sticky and completely covered. Diabetic poo. Sticky poo. I don't know how he left it, and I was just disgusted. I literally sat in shite. God, I hate it. I was so angry. But Dad told me that Antwon was gonna get glasses. So I had my dad deal with it because I was not gonna be nice at all. Yeah, maybe that's what he needs. You go to your parents and you say, choose between your son and the diabetic shit monster that will inevitably impregnate your daughter and drag her down into the depths of mediocrity, where clearly he lives all the time, always. Ugh. Anyway, my dad suggested that I try to get to know Antwon.
I'm not sure I'm interested in that. No, I am sure. I am not interested in that.
No. He wanted me to assist Antwon and my sister in finding a job. Look, y'all lazy motherfucker, you can't do that much, you're not gonna make it in the real world, okay? Get up and out right now. Asking to be employed is one of the easiest things that you could do. How the fuck am I gonna help you with that? You want me to go in, fill out the paperwork for you, drive you to the interview and sit outside? No, fuck you, you're 18. Get it together. Isn't OP younger? Maybe the sister's just like developmentally delayed or something. Okay. Dad said that Antwon was not gonna get a free stay. He had to work. It was going to be a paying job or work around the house. The best place for anyone with little to no job experience, in my opinion, is my part-time job at a store. They could start as service clerks, if hired. I started my first job there, and it's great. Yeah, customer service. I wouldn't say great, but it'll get you by. You put your time in, you know. So I drive him to the store to pick up applications, and on the way, I learned some things about Antwon. He told me that he and his sister met on Fortnite, and he had 5 years of work experience at Sandwich King. I do the math, but if he's 18, then how did he start working at 13? I ask him how he has that much experience, and to my horror, he tells me that he's 23 years old. It's a significant age gap, I'll say that. OP says, I called the guy a liar outright. This guy could hardly deal with his own diabetes. This guy can't clean up his own Duke. There's no way this guy is flipping my age. Okay, good. You should fight him, OP, for real. Thank God for that stoplight, because I immediately ask for his ID, and to my horror, I see the Mackinac Bridge reflecting in the light on his ID. I don't know what that means. Tried to get poetic there, I think. It didn't work. I decide to keep this information to myself. Why? And continue to help them pick up some applications. Why? They fill him out later that night, and then they play video games in my sister's room. I asked my dad if he knew that that guy was 23. He was not happy. He also thought the dude was 18, and he goes to tell my mom, and she says she just found out earlier that day as well. Eventually, it was reluctantly decided that he's already moved in, and with the applications, he was on his way to getting on his feet. Yeah, that's all it takes. Just go get papers from these stores and you can live here forever. We give him the benefit of the doubt. Antwon told us his stepdad was a maltreater and his mom was no help and he was kicked out of his family's house. Maybe he didn't have the resources that most people had. My sister just neglected to tell us to protect him, knowing that Dad wouldn't allow it if he did know the age difference. Yeah, much better to fucking lie about. Just blindside me with that later. Dude, I'd be pissed. How is this family holding it together so well? They lied to you to get him in there. I'd say you're fucking packing up tonight. I'm not dealing with this shit. You want to make your bad decisions, make them somewhere else. But I guess everybody's fucking resigned themselves. OP says, what's done is done. He's making an effort, so they decided to see how it plays out. Not well, I'm sure. Little did we know there was a lot more that we had no idea about. To be continued. Jesus, dude. He lied to everybody, and they just throw up their hands. Say, yeah, that's fine. He's already moved in. Trust me, he doesn't have that much shit. We can move him back out right now. I'll help you. Like, I'm not comfortable with this. Hey, sorry your life's been shit, but my daughter's not gonna date a fucking loser. Look at you. You can't even hold yourself together. Your teeth are rotting out of your head. You're a diabetic mess. Your genes are no good to anyone. Go squirt them into the toilet. Much like you should have learned to done with your poo-poo. Why has he not learned to do that yet? This is ridiculous. He's the one that's developmentally delayed, perhaps. Huh.
Oh, Gubbins foaming, Gubbins spinning in bio-rage, Gubbins ready to unleash the holy sterilization wrath. Antwon is 23 years old, and yet he leaves shit on walls like a chimp with a grudge.
Yeah, what's up with that? He's definitely got some things going on. Antwon is not well, and I wouldn't trust him around my family at all. Well, I'm eager to see how this thing devolves even further. It doesn't seem like we could fall much further, but I'd love to be surprised. That's what I know. So let's get into it. Hooray! What a great suggestion. Thank you to whoever suggested this. I never remember, but I'm giving you what you wanted, what you asked for, so I think that makes us even. Anyway, see you in part 3. Antwon part 3. Antwon gets a job. For real? For real, he really did? For real? He's gonna half-ass that. At this point, I knew that Antwon had diabetes, cataracts, and needed glasses. I knew that he couldn't see well, but I also knew that he could see well enough when he's playing video games or trying to teach someone something new, so how much he can or can't see really does seem kinda selective at times. Yeah, Antwon's out here playing little bitch boy baby games. We don't do that in Daddy's house, alright?
What are you into? Transformers? Pokemon, you f***ing child?
You gotta go. You gotta go. Mystified how this continues. That being said, Antwon and my sister filled out their applications at home. Antwon had my sister help him fill his out due to his horrible chicken scratch writing. I would show you, but it's not allowed. Bro, what? He He had her filling out the applications. Like, this is new levels of half-assery. Antwon also claimed that he could not read it, so my sister, who's never filled out an application before, helped him make sure that everything was filled out. Oh, I hate this fucking guy. Drag him out back. Put the boots to him. This should have been an alarm bell, but it just seemed helpful at the time, unfortunately. Antwon will expect help from my sister for everything, from helping him remember things to taking care of his diabetes, which, yeah, I guess is part of remembering things. The reason his eyesight's bad and he has fucking cataracts and all this is because of the diabetes. And then he uses that as a wedge to, like, pray for sympathy. Do nothing, helpless little weasel boy. We should just euthanize people like this. You have no drive. Like, you weren't going to make anything. I guess that's too far, but... in the moment, I do feel like that. Like, sister could have avoided this whole terrible part of her life. She's young and dumb. Got scooped up by a dude that's done a quarter of a century of jack shit. Okay, maybe it's his upbringing, blah, blah, blah. At a certain point, it's personal responsibility has to come into the equation. You know what I mean? Okay. Carrying on. That being said, less than 24 hours after turning in the application, Antwon would get a phone call early in the morning. The only reason why I know is that mine and my sister's rooms are close together, and we keep our doors open to keep our rooms warm, and the ringing woke me up. Hey, if they close the door, though, you know some shit's going on there, right? You gotta break that up. Get the hose. After the phone rings a bit too much, my sister wakes up Antwon, and he groggily answers the phone. I can tell it's management from my store due to the voice, and I'm happy for him. You heard the voice on the phone? Was he on speakerphone? It's thin walls in this house, man. They do anything, you're gonna hear it. It means he's getting an interview, which is, of course, a foot in the door. That's until she asks for a time. Antwon knows there are currently 2 people in the house willing to take him to the interview, but instead of asking us, he asks my sister, who doesn't have an answer. He says, I don't know. And before he can repeat the simple response to the interviewer, I leap out of bed and whisper shout at him, noon. He never reply to an interview with, duh, I don't know. After he hangs up, I tell him to dress nice. Black pants and a red hoodie will do, as far as what he has. So I get ready to take him to the interview, and before noon, we're on our way. I quiz him a bit for the interview, and when we get there, I wish him good luck as he goes into the store. A little while later, he comes back with paperwork. He has a job! Hooray! Now let's see him do anything at all. I guess having 5 years experience at the Sandwich King paid off, because he's going to be a server at the fried chicken / deli joint part of the store, where I work on the weekends as a cook. So we go back home, and later that night, Antwon has my sister helping him with the paperwork. After she fills it out to the best of her abilities, Antwon has me look at it, and I see the emergency contact and tax information is blank. So I crack a joke about the IRS coming for him, but instead of laughing along, he turns to my sister and chews her out like an asshole. Wow, dude. Yeah, sorry, baby, I didn't memorize your social security number yet. This is not a good situation. Do you think it's going to turn out well? Because I really don't think it's going to turn out well.
Has 5 years of sandwich lore yet needs assistance spelling his own name, and his response to incomplete tax forms is to scold his unpaid 17-year-old secretary girlfriend. Gubbins would like to cordially invite Antwon to a seminar on personal responsibility, hosted inside a flaming washing machine.
Yeah, I would also help him to attend. I personally don't want to go, but I can help you get there if you need me to. Somebody in this house needs to grow a dick, I'm telling you. Anyway, maybe he'll do great at the job. Maybe it'll turn out well. OP says, my sister has never had a job, so she never filled out anything like this. And yeah, they argue and I stay out of it. No, you don't stay out of it. You step up, defend your sister, and say, hey, what the fuck? Apparently you're blind as shit, so maybe you should say thank you. You know what I mean? Like, if you want to come to blows, we can do it. We can do it right now. But I think he'll fucking fold. I think he'll buckle like a belt. Anyway, she can argue back just fine, so I know there's no need for me to be involved. Yes, there is. Do you have no sense of family? What the fuck? What? How is everybody just allowing this to happen? Do you hate the sister secretly? Are you jealous of her? Do you want to be her? Do you try on her skirts while she's away? You can tell me. I'm...
It's okay to be gay. Let's rejoice with the boys in the gay way.
Oh, shit. That's funny. Anyway, OP says, now I'll tell you about Antwon's first day at work. It was a Monday, so I worked my weekday job, and I didn't get to witness it, but apparently he couldn't start his first day because he decided, in all his genius, to show up to a chicken/deli that has scalding metal and grease and sharp items. Yeah, he showed up in shorts, showing off his hairy white chicken legs. Yeah, that's not going to make the customers hungry, though. They're going to be like, oh, Jesus, I got to get out of here. Gross. I have the leg hair in my cordon bleu. Gross. What do you expect from a grocery store cordon bleu? Yeah, the store had to send him home because apparently he had nothing else to wear, and OSHA is a thing. My mom picked up some extra black pants, but if he had even showed up in sweatpants, then he could have worked that day. No one cares as long as it's obvious. I came to work in black pajama pants once and got away with it. Yeah, nobody's paying attention. We're all just trying to get through the day, okay? I would later find out that night when I came home that he had no clean clothes for work. Yeah, of course. The sister didn't do the laundry. Do you understand? This is what her life is going to become. You're watching it unfold. It's fucking driving me crazy. I can't. Ah! You hate it. You really do, dude. So I get out of the bathroom to see Antwon in the hallway trying to talk to me about something. Yeah, just get away from me. Go brush your fucking teeth. How about that? I can't remember the conversation because I couldn't get over the awful smell. It almost made me gag on the spot. I look around and see that he's holding a bunch of clothes, which he puts on the floor of the hallway. I try to be polite and retreat to my room, but he keeps trying to talk to me. At a certain point, you can tell him, just shut up. I'm going away now. I'm closing the door. Please stop talking to me. I'm not interested in that, is probably what you should start with. The social contract's been violated. You're lucky we're not going no holds barred, you know? I finally interrupted him and tell him to go wash his stinky ass clothes. No, he just says the clothes. But really, you need to turn up the heat on this guy or he's never going to change. Cold, hard reality check. It's a beautiful thing. He picks him up and takes him to the washroom, the horrible stench leaving with him. 20 minutes later, me and my dad are chilling in the living room and we hear the washer clanking. It does this when the load is uneven, and the only way to fix it is to put your hands in and move the clothes around or take some out because it might be too full. Yep, just washing machine things. My dad goes to fix it, and that's when I remember my earlier interaction with Antwon. I quickly stop him because no man deserves such an unfortunate fate, especially my dad, and I tell him what I suspected he would be getting into, fixing that load. He then shares that the smell I smelled from Antwon's clothes was from Antwon crapping himself in his sleep. And then he stayed asleep.
His rancid feces is now rapidly converting to a thick paste. The diarrhea shoots out of Eric's and into his underwear.
Does that not jolt you awake completely? Are you not like, oh no, everything's gonna get more horrible if I just lay here in it? What the fuck? He stayed asleep until he woke up. The clothes he slept in were the only ones that he could use for work that morning, and he only just now decided to wash them. He's not meant for society. We have to institutionalize Antwon, okay? This is not human behavior. I mean, he's not going to be around for much longer at his current rate, but just accelerate it a little bit. Anyway, OP asks, how can you remain asleep after crapping yourself? I cannot fathom. Dad told Antwon to fix the load of laundry. That's it for now. If you got questions, feel free to ask. I'm not the best at storytelling, and there's plenty more to the tale of Antwon to be continued. I mean, it is like one paragraph. It's not written great. I try to spruce it up where I can, but like the events of the story are hilarious. I am fucking hooked, dude. I just love a gross, ludicrous story sometimes.
If Gubbins were a lesser being, he'd scream. But Gubbins is ancient, caveman, code red powered. Instead, Gubbins whispereth, "He who sleeps in his own stink shall never rise a warrior."
That's true. Confucius say, man who falls asleep with itchy butthole, wake up with stinky finger. You ever hear that one, Gubbins? Everybody has. It's not even funny anymore. We'll get into part number 4. I don't know if Gubbins is liking it or not, but that doesn't matter, because I like it. Let's get over there. The Tale of Antwon, Part 4. Band-Aid. Oh my god, this entire situation has been a Band-Aid. This is a Band-Aid for your father's need to give back, a Band-Aid for your sister's need to be loved, a Band-Aid for you to avoid ever having to get involved or help somebody who's clearly in need. I hate your fucking Band-Aids. I throw them all in the trash, okay? Now let's get into the story. So before we begin, know that this store was my first job ever. I worked there full-time for 2 years, starting from a service clerk to a cook before leaving for a while and coming back for part-time work as a cook again. Cooks are always in demand. It's a hard fucking job. Respect. When Antwon and my sister were turning in their applications, I tried to talk them up a bit to increase the chance of their applications getting looked at. I can't get them hired, but I could at least try to heighten their chances. And I knew that we really needed people in the chicken/deli, and service clerks seemed to be needed at the time as well. So the whole chicken/deli is just a family affair. Dumb fuck boyfriend and brain dead sister serving me chicken tartare. I think I'm good. But OP says, there are also some people who would need introduction. Sloth, he's a young dude, a hard worker, and a determined person. Everybody had no doubt that he would fit right in. The only problem was, in the beginning, he was terribly slow as the cook. He wasn't bad, he just needed to work on his speed. And he was hired about a week before Antwon was. Dude, I'm Sloth, bro. I'll get it done, but I'm working at my own pace. A lot of jobs can't handle that. Next is our precious Grandma Bean. I've known her since I started working there. Grandma Bean is everyone's sweet grandma in the chicken/deli. You don't mess with anybody's grandma without consequences. We also have Rock. He's a very wise gentleman of a man. I'm calling him Rock because life can literally come crashing down on this man, and you wouldn't even know it unless he told you. Yeah, that's fucking stoicism. I aspire to that. I love Rock. I love Lamp. He's always polite and positive and always willing to give advice if needed or give a helpful hand. He took me under his wing with Possum when I started my first job in the store, which we have established is your first job. It's extremely rare to see anything shake the rock. Next, we have Possum. She's a take-no-crap kind of woman. She's really nice and brutally honest. If you mess up, she'll let you know. She's extremely kind and understanding. She always seems to know what to do or say in situations. Yeah, just be confident in what you're doing, even if it's the wrong thing. You're like, that's fine. We do it confidently. And finally, we have Blue. She works at customer service, so I'll admit we're only friendly acquaintances due to us just not meeting that much. After some time, Antwon was officially done with training, and he and Sloth Boy were closing the chicken/deli alone. The whole store knew this wasn't the greatest thing, but with the store being short on bodies, it was bound to happen. It's normal for two people to close, but with Sloth Boy still working on his speed and Antwon being, well, Antwon, you can imagine that things did not go too well. Yeah, morning crew's gonna come into just a nightmare. Oh, that's you, OP! You're the morning crew! Maybe. From what I heard, they left the chicken/deli a complete mess when they clocked out. I think they both got a verbal warning for it, but Antwon got talked to the most because he demanded Sloth Boy to drop chicken in the fryer at 7 p.m. 2 hours after the kitchen should have closed. A huge no-no. Yeah, but I want some fried chicken, though. And you had to clean the grease trap at the end of the night. And if you cook chicken that late, not only are you really behind on cleaning, but the grease trap will have no time to cool down, making it impossible to clean without burning yourself. Now, why did Sloth Boy listen to Antwon? Well, because Sloth Boy is younger, and it's normal to listen to servers about when to close down the kitchen because they don't know how busy it is with customers. But at the very max, the kitchen should really only stay open until about 5:30. Don't worry, Sloth Boy did learn from this because on another night after this fiasco, Antwon would demand Sloth Boy to cook a chicken at 6:30 p.m., and Sloth Boy refused and kept on cleaning. See? He's got a head on his shoulders, doesn't he? He's young, but he means well. I like him. I think Sloth Boy's a mean name. Can't he also be the Rock? Like the Mossy Rock? And he's just now learning. He'll catch up. So the kitchen was left a mess for the morning shift, who was, unfortunately, Grandma Bean, and Lucky Blue assisted her, but they were not happy, and rightfully so. After Antwon got his verbal warning, from what I was told was a phone call, he wouldn't shut up and let people teach him or talk to him. Oh, good. Yeah.
You left the chicken deli looking like the aftermath of a poultry apocalypse, Antwon. Grandma Bean out here rising before dawn, ready to give her final years to fried excellence, only to walk into Chicken Gettysburg because you thought slinging tendies at 7 a.m. was good hustle.
I don't think you need to come after Grandma Bean. It's a little collateral damage there, Gubbins. It happens. So yeah, screaming match. Just like he did with the sister. He just really thinks he's the main character, doesn't respect anybody around him. If I recall, he did grow up with a father in the home, but the father was basically doing this, screaming and shouting instead of communicating like a human being. Yes, your children are children, but they still understand the thing that you're telling them, or they'll pretend to. OP says, Antwon kept talking over Grandma Bean when she tried to teach him something, or worse, leave to talk to Sloth Boy while she would try to teach him something. He talked over Rock when he was trying to give advice about listening, and finally Possum had to come over and talk to him because he just wouldn't shut up and listen to what everyone was fucking trying to tell him. So I was called because I live with him. Oh, God. See? There's more problems. And maybe he would listen to me. He's not going to. I'm not coming down there. Wasting my fucking time. Fire him for cause. I'll kick him out of my house. We can go light him on fire when we catch him sleeping in the park.
Oh, that's terrible.
God. You shouldn't do that. That's a mean thing to say, isn't it? Oh well. It's out there now. So OP didn't have to go to the store. When Antwon got home, I waited until he was cooled down, and I took him for a drive. Oh, good. A really deep stone quarry or gravel pit. I told him to tell me his side of the story, and according to him, Grandma Bean was being snippy, and Blue was mean and hated him, and he has no idea what he did to make Rock and Possum mad. When he was done, I explained what I believe happened. He apparently had no idea that Grandma Bean had to help Blue clean up the kitchen, or his bad habits of talking over people, which he didn't even believe to be a problem until I pointed it out to him when he started trying to talk over me. I stop at a dollar store and tell him that he's going to write apology letters. 1, it will put a band-aid on his current situation, and 2, it's good penmanship practice. Well, God bless you for trying to put this monster back on the right path,
Put a band-aid on it, you say? Gubbin says get the defibrillator. This man needs a full system reboot.
Not a bad idea, yeah. Do that thing like a Breaking Bad where you put one part in your mouth. OP says, I told Antwon that having resentment in the workplace is a terrible thing, so the apology letters will put a bandage on the current situation. Is that different than a Band-Aid? It's bigger, I guess. But if he wanted his work relationships and reputation to improve, he'd have to turn himself around, or the apologies would mean nothing. I take him inside and have him pick out thank you cards for each person, and I even add a small gift to each one. Dude, you're a classy fucking gentleman, OP. I'll say that. You really are trying to culturize this guy. I don't think it's gonna happen. Did you get a little bag of Hershey's Kisses when you shit all over the bathroom floor? No, you didn't. and still you persist. Gotta admire that on some level, though. OP truly believes. I want to believe like OP and his dad, but I just don't anymore. So we make an agreement that he would pay me back by helping me feed my animals when I'm at my weekday job. I work from morning to night, so they usually don't eat until late. Plus, I hate going out there at night because of the raccoons. You can fight raccoons, dude. A little bit of rabies, boo-hoo, get a shot. And also, if you're working, you know, morning to night, maybe we shouldn't have animals. Or are the animals you're talking about the raccoons? Do you harvest them for their meat? That's raccoon meat! It's lousy with parasites!
Raccoon meat!
OP says, I will regret this entire agreement later on when he would get my cats sick by feeding them pig food. Damn, dude. I guess cats and pigs are fine animals to have, like, alone by themselves, but dogs will get into some shit. Luckily, the cats were fine. They just threw up a little bit. He was just done helping me at that point. Hey, he's playing his little fucking baby boy game some more. And you guys are still letting him get away with it. I feel the need to point out, okay?
He can't keep getting away with it!
Ugh. When he gives everyone the thank you cards with the handwritten apologies, it seems like it will all work out. The Band-Aid was working. It was just up to Antwon to continue healing his work relationships and reputation from there. Unfortunately, the Band-Aid will not last long. An apology means nothing if you keep doing the exact same shit. To be continued. Yeah, boy. I mean, I hated the dude from the jump, more like for his interpersonal relationships. The fact that he sucks at work, like, I can understand that. I suck at work pretty hard sometimes, too. But he's doing it purposefully, you know what I mean? He's not like Sloth, who's trying his best to learn. He's like, he doesn't give a fuck. Cut me my paycheck while I slop grease all over the place. You're only making it worse. I understand we need bodies, but he counts as like negative bodies, I'm pretty sure. Jesus.
This ain't a Band-Aid, Antwon. This is a cauterized failure wound. The workplace gave you a second chance, a redemption arc. You turned it into a spin-off no one asked for called Antwon Screams at Women and Destroys Felines. Me disgusted. Gubbins.
Me disgusted too. Yeah. Feeding pig food to cats? Like, what's right? You're not that dumb, right? You did this job a whole bunch, and then you decided you didn't want to do it anymore, so you fucked it up on purpose. That's the way you go through your entire life, isn't it? You're scared to put all of yourself out there. You're scared to lay it all on the line and say, I'm actually trying to accomplish a thing here, because taking it seriously and stating it openly means that you might have to deliver at some point. I think I'm sort of therapizing myself a little bit too right there, but I deliver more than Antwon, I'll tell you that much. He's basically a literal fucking zombie at this point. Cataracts and everything. Just put him out of his misery, okay? Out back, against the wall. This could all be over. Nobody's going to care except the sister, and she's 18. She'll move on, trust me. Is this like her first relationship? Has she picked a series of bad men? Is dad not all that he's cracked up to be? All these answers and more, maybe, in the continuing series of Antwon. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Super long one, my god. But I just enjoyed it a whole heck of a lot, and I hope you did too. Like, comment, subscribe, Patreon, YouTube memberships if you'd like to support month to month. Fourth wall for the merch. Always remember, friends, that you are loved, you are worthy, you definitely deserve it, and I shall see you in the next one. So until then, bye-bye.